Episode 5, I actually really enjoyed. And that's even a problem. And I'll tell you, people like, man, you just cannot be satisfied, man.
It's good, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, no, and they're like, man, you just see, now that's how I know you're a hater too, because you just refuse to like something. No, let me explain. I'm not doing that, and let me just say that I really did enjoy this episode. I'm just gonna say this real quick. It looks like even as much as everybody said they hated it, as much I was scamming them, it looks like we might even reach our Gigcaster goal.
Congratulations,
right there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and if that happens, then I'm able to actually, I have to say it like this, but I possibly am able to fund an animator or two, which is what I want to do. I want to thank all the people who are supporters, all the people who came in and showed some love. You know, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Really do appreciate that. And if you want to check it out, you can go over to Gigcaster and look at the recent drops, and ours is right there. And like I said, just check it out. I mean, I'm not forcing anybody to do it. If you want to check it out, though, for yourself and see what it's like, then please do. If you do want to support, then hey, that would be even better. Thank you. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about a particular show you might remember. Oh, shit is on. Not really. At least a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't. The Acolyte. There were a lot of people coming in and saying this show was good. And then more people came in and said, the hell it is. No, this show's awful. And I don't know where to stand on that, or I didn't know where to stand on that at first, because Star Wars is a tricky thing right now. There's a lot of people who going in talking about, well, Star Wars is, and I hate using this word. They say it's too woke right now. They forcing too much diversity up in here. I don't want to see that shit. Where them white Jedis at? And then, I look at that, I don't like it. But at the same time, yeah, Star Wars has been, you've heard me complain about Star Wars for years now. So I'm kind of conflicted with this. I want Star Wars to have a win. I'm all for diversity. I'm all for Star Wars. I want to get back to something that I love, and I don't want to defend the haters out there. But I watched this, and I just had to say, woke or not, I don't think it was a good show. Same old problems that have been plaguing Star Wars for years also plagued this show, at least for me.
I just hear that, now I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot of Star Wars, and this I hear, it's just middle of the road. And when I hear people praising it, personally, it's the shit that makes me go, all right, I don't need to see that. Because they're like, well, it starts with like really great lightsaber action. It's like, you lost me. I don't care. I want some good characters.
See, that was the problem for me. The characters were not interesting. That was the whole discussion that we had. You bring up a great point. We mentioned that the characters were just, they didn't have any personality. I did not find myself rooting for anybody, and found myself actually invested in anyone. I didn't think there was I don't know if it needed more humor or needed more better writing. I don't know. But the show was just kind of, I didn't hate it, but it was kind of dull to me.
Yeah, it sounds like it lacks flavor and like just some humanity, because they've decided to make Jedis all these boring weirdos.
Yes, so now we're at episode 5, and I just decided to watch it because these episodes are short.
How long?
This was, shorter if you don't count the credits and the recap and all that.
Yeah.
So I say about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a simple 30 minutes. So I sat down and watched it. And episode 5, I actually really enjoyed. And that's even a problem. And I'll tell you, people like, man, you just cannot be satisfied, man.
It's good, and that's the worst part.
Yeah, no, and they're like, man, you just see, now that's how I know you're a hater too, because you just refuse to like something. No, let me explain. I'm not doing that. And let me just say that I really did enjoy this episode. Now, we will be talking about it in some kind of spoilery way. So if you haven't seen it and you do want to watch it, you don't want to be spoiled, you know what to do. But stick around, just bring up little things here and there. I really enjoyed this episode. Now, it had some silliness in there that people mentioned that actually made me kind of worried about the episode. Everybody talks about the Jedi haircut. I thought this chick was about to slit her own throat or something, but she cut off her locks with her yellow lightsaber. Looking like Jaden Smith right here. But
damn, that looks so goofy.
Yeah, no, and you know what? If I was just to go by that, I'd be like, yeah, here we go again. the dumb shit. But the episode, and I hate to say this because of what you just said, but it did have some amazing fights in there. And as somebody who still is at heart a Star Wars fan for the things that I do enjoy and for the memories that I do have, you know, I have to say that those fights were actually really good. You know, they were killing Jedis in the beginning. This is one Sith guy that has yet to be revealed. He will be in the later on the episode. But, you know, listen, whatever it's worth, sometimes a good Jedi fight or a good lightsaber fight wasn't no real fight for the Jedis. They got their asses whooped. But a good lightsaber fight, hey, listen, if it's nostalgia, it'll still do something for you, man, like it did when you were a kid. You know, I thought that was cool, using the Force to like stab two people with the same lightsaber and all that. That was stuff like that. It was ruthless, it was dark. They actually killed young Padawans here.
There's some decent choreography and camera work. It didn't cut 1,000 times.
No, it didn't. And even the deaths were kind of cool and creative the way they filmed them. Pincushion the ass. You know, they had some cool moments in there just with editing and transitions that felt like Star Wars. You know, and it was little touches that felt natural. They felt like they were, you know, they were sincerely capturing the spirit of Star Wars, you know, not mimicking it for nostalgia's sake. No, not there. I don't want to watch that as a whoop again. But, you know, how they did the Star Wars wipes and whatnot. They were doing a lot of that here. And again, because this was a cool episode, those things felt pretty natural.
But you are no Jedi.
You know, so things like that were happening, man. Performances, I think, were good all around. The characters felt better to me. Oh, man. Who's the guy? Now, this is a big reveal and a spoiler. Who's the guy that played the Sith? The Sith Lord or whatever, the Asian guy that was here. Anyway, they'll tell me after I show this clip, but I thought this guy was putting in a pretty good performance here.
What do you want?
Manny Jacinto is his name, is what people are saying. I thought that guy was pretty good in here.
What do you want?
Freedom. I want a pupil.
And the person that I actually complained about last week, and it was mostly about her character. It wasn't the actress. Mostly about the direction they gave her. Amandla Steinberg.
Yeah,
Amandla Steinberg. I thought that, you know, she plays two characters in here, twin sisters. I thought her performance was better. Because I thought the characters were better written here. I thought they felt better developed.
I did what I needed to do for you. You're the violent one. You started that fire.
You know, I thought that was a good performance right there. And I mean, it was a little, and again, there were little Star Wars moments in there because, listen, sometimes Star Wars is about the weird creatures they got.
Yeah.
There's a little beaver man in here.
Oh, yeah, let me see that.
Who was sniffing around. He was like a hound dog. He was trying to track something in. His little ass was just in the whole episode.
All right, now you're kind of selling me on it. That's Star Wars. That's weird looking puppet guys. I'm into that.
You know, Star Wars quick to take a dwarf and put like a crazy costume on him.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that, man. I love that. And people are like, so what the hell is your problem then? Well, listen, the problem is that, yes, I'm very much enjoying this episode. You know, I think it's easily the best one out of the series right now.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I did not see the last episode because I just wanted to watch this one because I heard different things about it. And I heard that, and I heard the last one was all right, but I heard this is the best one so far. And I agree. I really enjoyed this, man. The problem with that is that I'm enjoying this episode. I'm enjoying this moment. I still don't care about the bigger picture.
And that's a problem.
And that is the main problem with everything. Once again, I don't mean to complain, but it's like it's just frustrating because this happens all the time with Star Wars. It happens with a lot of things, but it happens with Star Wars all the time these days. You know, there's no consistency in storytelling. You know, I'm enjoying Star Wars now in a very spotty way, because there are things that I enjoy individually at those small moments.
I mean, this is proving one of the points of why I used to be so adamant about not being into TV shows, because people are like, man, you get past the first season or X amount of episodes, then it starts getting good. It's like, no, I've seen TV be good from start to finish, and that's what I want.
Yeah, think about Breaking Bad. Breaking
Classic.
Bad is I mean, great. I mean, like, man, you have a show that dips every now and then, but consistent quality
Oh my
all the way
God,
through.
yeah.
You know, I don't know.
The Boys?
The Boys. You want to take something fantastical, consistent quality all the way through. Daredevil on Netflix, you know, something like that. You know, Invincible. There's a lot of shows out there that have been consistent in quality. You know, the problem I'm having here is that I'm enjoying Star Wars in spurts here and there. I'll enjoy an episode here. I'll enjoy a movie there. You know, I'll enjoy a whole series, you know, like Andor. I think Andor was pretty cool all the way through. I had some problems with it, but not major. I thought it was pretty good. But outside of that, I just don't care about the bigger picture anymore. You know, it's so inconsistent that I don't care about the history. You know, I don't care about how things tie in anymore.
Because it's all a mess. Like there's nothing that they're really working towards that is interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was about to ask, like, what is the bigger picture? Because, you know, with Marvel, they're going to the multiverse with Kang and Secret Wars, whatever. So what is the end game, if any, for Star Wars?
Well, I don't know if there's an end game, like everything's connected to where it's going to be like a big Thanos moment.
So everything is just, I'm sorry, everything is just random?
Well, I'm just saying that some things, you know, when you're trying to tie these all together, some things aren't written very well, you know, to the point where if you're creating, again, this history, this mythology, this lore, a lot of it's been so inconsistent that they've made stuff up that doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
So it ruins the canon in a way for me, you know.
And it goes back to what we were talking about last week, where it's like the prequels have a lot of bad ideas. And this show expands on those ideas, which are still bad.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, some things won't match up with other things they've done here because they just made things up. And again, like I said, man, you know, I can watch Mandalorian. I thought was kind of the first season had pretty consistent quality. You
And
know?
even most of the second season.
Yeah.
It's because they were growing things. Like Grogu was, I mean, it's derivative of Yoda, but it's still a baby Yoda. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't, you know, when I look at it, like I said, when you have like inconsistent quality going on, it's just, especially within the same show, I believe, you know, other people might have other opinions. It's just something where it's just, I wish I could enjoy the whole thing. I wish I was watching this show right here and enjoying it from the first episode. You know, I would love to like enjoy just the whole thing. And you know, my bigger problem with this is that a lot of people are starting to see this and they do criticize it appropriately. And again, it's all a matter of opinion. But then you got a lot of people who, and they never want to admit to it, but you know, they look at Star Wars and they have a problem with it, but it didn't happen until people of color and women and other things came along. And now, before, with those problems, that bad writing, now again, if you like what you like, that's fine. But you know that they made up stuff. Midichlorians came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden we don't talk about it anymore. The Emperor coming back in the last Star Wars movie, that made no sense at all. They made that up. You can't even tie that second and third movie together very well. You know, and there's a lot of stuff that just, you know it's made up, y'all. Come on. And so now it's a problem. Now that they've talked about, you know, diversity and wokeness and all that kind of shit, now you want to complain when those problems have always been there. You don't want to say anything back then. Now you want to scapegoat. That's, you know, that's shitty to me, man. I will say this. Do you have a point to a certain extent? Yes, Disney might have been pushing diversity agendas a little too hard. I'm not complaining that, you know, the diversity is the problem, is that they put that over story.
Yeah.
You know, but having an all-woman cast or a cast with people of color, that's not a problem in and within itself.
No.
You know, the problem here is the writing. There's been terrible writing with Star Wars in many different forms for many different years. Let's stop trying to wait for a moment where there's something that we don't individually like, or your racism or sexism is put in there, and now Star Wars has a problem. You know that's not the problem. You coward, don't do that. I wish that, you know, things could be a little more consistent here. Look, I take my enjoyment where I can get it. You know, I enjoyed watching this episode, but I enjoyed it probably more for nostalgia or a nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Because, the lightsaber fight, oh my God, that's cool.
I think that there is a fine line that they could walk with this. Like, I don't necessarily think that Star Wars needs to go full on Game of Thrones, but they probably could look at their homework a little bit. You know what I mean? To have characters and bring in interesting politics or something.
Yeah, you're right. They've put so much, and we've mentioned this last time, and I'm, probably don't want to hear me mention it again, but it is what it is. Really, what's been happening here is the corporate mentality towards this. We have a very, very, very popular IP. We tried to put out too much stuff.
Yeah.
They did this with Marvel. We're putting out too much stuff. We're trying to cash in too quickly, and cash is over money. Profit is over story. And this is why things aren't connecting well, because they're putting all this stuff out. They did it to Marvel. It's not just Star Wars. They're putting all this shit out to where it's not even connecting anymore. You're putting out, 20 different shows, every 6 months, and the stuff just stops connecting.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. And I remember last week when we talked about it, I was saying, like, it looks like they're just trying to advertise the theme park. And sure enough, someone told me that after the show ends, there's an ad for Disneyland.
Yeah. I mean, listen, corporations make their money. I get it. But come on, man. You can do better with your stories. You want to make a profit. You want the fans to keep coming. Write better stories. I guarantee you that'll work.
And all of the toys and stuff, that will come naturally.
Yes.
It will happen. Just don't try to force it, because I was thinking about it later, like the power of 1, the power of 2. That's just so a bunch of will gather together in the theme park and say that dumb thing together. That's why they're doing that. And when I realized, I was like, wow, they are just literally pandering to this base.
Yeah.
It's sad. There's so much potential.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody said the story's about anger and whatnot. It's not about the theme. Yeah, I get the theme. It's about the details. It's about the writing. Anybody can put out a premise. Anybody can put out a theme. Everybody walks around with a theme, but everybody can't write a book or a script.
Yeah, look at the example that you gave of Breaking Bad. Like, that is a character with a ton of depth, with a relatable problem, and them going through with it. We don't like it, but we understand it.
Yes, exactly. No, exactly, man. 100%. Putting that knowledge down, look at you.
Dude, I hate that I don't like Star Wars. It's sick. What's not to like? Darth Vader is a robot cyborg man with laser sword. That's dope. But there's nothing else they're bringing to it.
Yeah, what do I know? Not my Star Wars.
And another thing.
Same shit. But hey, listen, I did like the episode, but again, not really for the story. I just hey, this brought out the little Star Wars kid in me again.
How many are left?
One more, I think.
Oh, so it's only 6 episodes. Because they're saying that they don't know if there's going to be another season or not. Because apparently they've asked a bunch of questions that if they get another season, they'll be able to answer them.
Just answer that shit now. Just make an episode with one person turning the camera. Just explains everything. Y'all, we ain't coming back. So listen, this is what's going to happen right now.
The power of answers.
Yeah. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.